and welcome to yet another episode of Teachers Talk. I'm your host, Pelisa Mugavazi, and welcome to the podcast where conversations go beyond the staff room. Today we have a very beautiful teacher, beautiful sister. She's a lot in one. Karabo Tema, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Today's conversation is a conversation that I think we're nervous to have, let's be honest. We're nervous to have, but we need to have. It's education, but the truth of it. What is really going on with behind the classroom doors. So we're going to delve into the discipline, the breakdowns, the mental health issues, the unsafe school environments, and the emotional burnout. So Karabo's gonna be our guest. We're gonna speak. We're gonna share our experiences. This is our truth. This is our personal journey, and we're hoping that this conversation can go beyond and touch teachers who might be going through the very same things that we have gone through and are still trying to tackle till today. So, Karabo, again, thank you. I know this is one topic, like I said, we're all nervous to speak about. We've never spoken about. I don't think I've seen this online. So we will be the first. And yeah, I hope to have it with honesty and heart. At the end of it, for me at least, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So obviously, first of all, just take us through who Karabo is, how this journey started, and yeah, then we'll dive deep into all the other stuff. So how did teaching or education start for you?
Well, for me, it was quite a long journey. I'm not gonna lie. So I matriculated earlier. I was that kid that was like a bit younger in the grade. So I matriculated 2016, 2017. Um, I would say that I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when I got the opportunity to go do IT software development, I was like, okay, I'll be that tech girl. It's fine.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I always felt like I'm somebody that doesn't like I always felt like I couldn't do zonklula, man. So when I got to IT, I was good the first 2 years. I was doing exceptionally well for myself, and then I started getting sick. And from there, that's when it did take a toll on me emotionally, academically, and everything else. And 2019 comes around. My dad is like, "Hi, girl, sit down. Come back home. You've been sick. You've been in and out of hospital, and
Let's take care of you.
let's take care of
first.
you.
Yeah.
Let's take care of you." So I sat down for a while. 2020 comes, and he asked me, "Do you want to go back to school?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Well, you're gonna do teaching," because at the time he was a principal. He was a school principal, and not just him, like my father's side of the family, they are teachers, they're educators, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was like, okay, I still want a qualification. I still want to do something for myself. So let's do it. Let's go. And when 2020 came, then the lockdown came, and I was like, okay, it's fine. Then I guess I'll take the whole year to myself. 2021 comes, I go to school where I get my dad. We sat down actually 2020 at the end of the year. We sat down. After sitting down, I was like, okay, I actually want to do nursing, yana, something. My dad is like, oh. He's like, okay, apply. I apply. He's like, oh, finally teaching, I'll apply.
Just the backup plan.
Yeah, we leon.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get like, did I do it? Some of them I didn't do it. And he was like, okay, this one, none again at level. Okay, sure. 2021 comes, already he had done everything for me. And then, uthi asjikela. Yeah, because I don't know, go to a university in this area. Asjikela. How we go? Sonko, we are excited. My mom is excited. She's like, finally, you're going to do the nursing that you want to do. We get there. I will do. Oh, it's only education.
Yes. B.Ed during one
B.Ed. And I'm like, Mara Baba. And he's like, he's like, they took you, so why are you crying? Let's go. What needs to be done? We get there and we fill in the forms. Already, my boy, my dad is registering me. Register. By the time I leave there, student card, everything, you have everything
Sorted.
sorted. Let's go check accommodation. They're like, okay, we'll take you. Sorted. So that's how my journey started.
Okay.
It almost started as a surprise for
Yeah.
me, but at the same time, I knew that he was doing it because he has good intentions for me. And I learned to love it. I mean, there's the psychological part of education that always grasps my attention. I never knew that I would love that part of
Yeah.
it. I would look at a child and look at a child holistically. Because I always thought to myself, and also got IT-ish, my lecturer, there was a lecturer that used to say, how fail my module? Also, Rowisha be it.
So it was always looked down upon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I get there and I'm feeling so depressed because
Now I'm in this
now I'm in this
qualification.
qualification that people look down upon, and then only for me to get there and be surprised because I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, there's so much depth.
There's so much
Yeah.
depth in this because I always thought you just get there, otomo bulela, bana ba ngwala, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's not what it was for me. So I think, it also helped. It helped me to become more human, I would say. I'm not going to lie, I became more human because of this degree. And I still see some people online who still have this prejudice towards
Yes,
education.
towards it, yeah.
And it's a sad reality. You could see there are people that look down on it, like we make a plan.
Yes.
And it's actually a whole in depth of, like, it's such a broad qualification.
Profession,
It's so it's such a beautiful thing. I'm not going to lie.
No, thank you. Okay. And then fast forward now, your degree is done. I don't know if you want to go through teaching prac, but because that's where the experience actually starts. Your degree is done. You're getting into the classroom now physically. You're seeing not only the theology but the physical. How is it? Take me through your emotions. I know for me, it's the nervousness. First year, you go to a teaching prac. It's nervousness. You're there. You're awkward. You don't know how to dress. You don't know what to say. And then you experience things as you go along. How did that go for you?
So for me, okay, we'll start with the teaching prac. As I said, my dad is like somebody who's already in
In the
this field.
field, yeah.
So I grew up, unfortunately or fortunately for me, there was already a strict dress code, Ikai.
Okay.
So I only started wearing like short stuff now that I'm older, now that I'm on my own. But um, I like the stuff, man, the small little things, the dressing up, the how you carry yourself. I already had that from home.
Okay.
So first year it wasn't that bad. I went to a school that was in a predominantly bad area, but the school was good.
Okay.
The school had the resources. The school, I don't know what management did, what type of magic they did there, but
It was working.
it was working. We had TVs in the classroom. We had all of that.
Yeah.
And as much as we still had the same problems of overcrowding in the classroom, it was still a well managed,
Functioning, well-oiled machine.
well-oiled machine. And they even had a computer lab. It was small, but they had a way in which they had like a program for the whole school. I mean, it couldn't fit one class, but they knew how to do it. They knew how to divide the learners so that all the learners can also have access to the technology. And I loved it. I was like, okay, if this is what teaching is, sharp, let's do it.
Yeah.
Second year comes. Yo,
Dun dun dun.
yo, and also the institution that I was in, they choose for you where you go.
Yeah.
For pracs. So it seemed like I was being chosen among communities that were not that great. And the second time around, it became a bit of a challenge for me emotionally because when I got to those schools, then I could see what poverty-stricken community actually. They actually like. There are kids that would come to school and you can see that this child has eczema. Some of them, it's not just eczema. Some of them you'll see, there's nothing for him to put on at home. And he has to come to school. And then Kamo, you can see with the shoes, nobody is taking care of this child. It's a child-headed household. Kamo, there's no resources at school to help this child with anything. And then you raise it with management. Kanako, you're still a student also. you're thinking, "Hi, man, I got great ideas. Let's do fundraising. Let's try something." Management is like, "Sissy, do your job and go home."
Focus, more degree.
Yeah, when ibile, you're not yet at job level.
Yeah.
Can you relax? And I'm like, yo, okay.
But mwana,
Yeah, there's these kids. If he just go along, and the only reason why he wants to come to school is for the food.
Yes.
Can we change that? And he was like, sis, you will learn as time goes by. Yeah, and you can't be the hero for everybody.
Yeah.
Third year. No, the third teaching practice. Yeah. Yo, it was a bad school still, or a bad community. I could say bad because it's a place where Uber doesn't get in, Uber Eats doesn't get in. Nama takes, you know how bad it is for it taxi not to function
in that area.
In that area. That's when you know, yeah, it's bad. There's no taxi. There's no public transportation. In order for you to get public transportation, nama tak. Yes, so how many tak? Yes. And when I got there, it was a culture shock for me. And I got there, the kids are different. Okay, the behavior is different. The kids are playing with a pair of scissors during break towards each other's necks. And this is seen as normal. I'm the only one panicking.
Who's like, wait, guys.
I'm like, hi, kids, this is not how we play. I said, no, man, we're just playing. I'm not going to do anything to him. Hey, like, there's gangster signs, there's gangster language being used in the classroom. The kids are different. And little did I know, Guti, it's actually paving a way for me now. Because I think without that experience, I would still be a bit naive.
Yeah, to what's actually happening.
I think that's the reality of a lot of schools
in South Africa.
Yeah. Because safety is still an issue for both learners and the teachers.
Yes.
Because when as a teacher, you're going to go there with your whole holistic view of teaching. You get there and honestly, you don't really have time as well to be looking at each and every child's face. Because there's 40 kids in one class and there's 4 classes and all these learners, some of them are not doing the homework. You're trying to catch these learners out for homework. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. Admin. They say, where's the time going to come from whereby you just take 5 minutes and you look at all these kids' faces. They're not sitting still. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Secondly, when you are taking that time, it seems like you are giving the kids time to
fool around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it became a culture shock for me in that regard. But also now that I'm in like my first year of teaching, hey, the first, yeah, Mawati first job is not necessarily the best.
The best, yeah.
I got the culture shock there as well. I think for me, it was always a stepping stone. As much as all these experiences were bad, I think it was all worth it. Without that, I would still be very, very naive. And I think I wouldn't be as human as I am
now. Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm more human now towards not just like teaching as a whole, but I'm more human with regards to the prejudice that people face in their careers, their choice of living and stuff like that. Because now I wouldn't be exposed to some of these people's choices as children, for example. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the culture shock and the demographics we find ourselves in South Africa is shocking.
Yeah.
And in as much as my lecturer always used to say, if we all want to go to private schools, who's going to go to those schools?
Yes.
Who's going to motivate those learners, Yes. All right. And then now we're going to go into the most difficult scenarios you were dealt with. From your first year of teaching, what are the things that stood out for you that even made you feel like, oh, this is not what I signed up?
So with my first year of teaching prac, so the school was a good school. And the management, as I said, was doing a great job. So it turned out that the management actually passed on while I was there.
Oh, okay.
And it was because of COVID. So basically they got another I could say like a temporary, somebody.
Management.
Yeah, somebody there. And the person wasn't doing great. This is what stood up for me. It was one afternoon. I'm going home. I feel so refreshed because I like the school. The school is so refreshing. It's a very nice, yeah, it's a very nice environment. A parent walks in and he comes to me and he starts saying, now our school is going down because of that person, referring to the new management, to the appointed management. And I was shocked. I was like, "Hey, man." And then the more, and he was like so angry. He's like, yeah, now that management is putting in their people there, there's so much nepotism happening in the school now. And the school was the only good thing that was happening for us. A year later, that's when I realized that that parent was actually not lying. Those TVs that I was talking to you about, they were not functional anymore. The lab, it didn't have computers anymore after that person's appointment. And it became such a bad school that the kids they had an Afrikaans teacher, but she wasn't teaching. She would just come to class and just look at them the whole day because she was so fed up with their behavior.
Yeah.
And everything. The management was always on their case. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. But also she was firing everybody. Like she got misdemeanors for everyone. Which is one man did this, one man did that, one man. So it was a very hostile environment. And it was less than a year after my TE. And no, it became very bad. But the last one that I saw would say, I don't want this environment at all, was last year. It's a very dangerous neighborhood. The kids there are also quite dangerous as well. And there was a child that actually came to school with a brick of cocaine, and she was the dealer. She was selling. And with her selling that, there were kids that basically almost died from the OD. I mean, they
taking
kids.
in drugs at the school.
Yeah. So I didn't know about this. They were talking about bullets. But see, cocaine, you take it ngama bullet or something like that. So I think a sniff is a bullet, or I don't know. I don't know how they do it. But she was selling it ngama bullets, and she got it from her father. And the dad was like, "Okay, so what do you want to do about it?" And I'm like, "No, she does. She can't come to school. Wara wara." And he's like, "Okay, I'll take her to the district. If you guys don't want to take her, we'll see what we can do. It's fine." And she went home, and she was always suspended. A very pretty little girl, very beautiful in primary. And that was the biggest culture shock for me. That was not necessarily culture shock, but it was a big
eye opener too.
It was an eye opener.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy treating this child like normal. Can't they know this child is not? She's basically the dealer of the school.
And the father is threatening to take the school to the district, knowing that this is what's happening. An illegal substance is being.
And the last one was even same school. There was a child in that school, a boy child, and this learner, he had a problem of exposing himself at classing. So he would expose himself to the other learners, to the girls. He would call out their names and be like, "Hey, when am I?" And then expose himself.
Yeah.
And it became such an issue that another student teacher started reporting it. And they were like, "Okay, we're going to call the parent." Finally, the parent comes. His father comes. And his dad was just released from jail. His dad was just released from jail. He comes. Mind you, he's all dressed up. Oh, nice, man. He came here to see his son and the teacher that was complaining about the son's behavior. He comes there and he tells us, it's okay, you are complaining about Mtanam, let's say his name is David. You're complaining about David. Okay, me and the mom haven't been together for a while. He's raised by his mom now. The mom is basically a single parent, and she owns like a club with her brother. Okay, yeah. So I think Umawake is the one exposing the child to such
all of this.
behavior.
Yeah.
And we are like, okay, why would you say that? He's like, well, the older sister actually has like a tape, and he shows us the tape. It was trending on Twitter. He shows us the tape. It's like, I think she was sending it to a boyfriend or something. And that's why maybe he's
He's
exposing
doing this.
himself. It's learned behavior.
Behavior.
And it never got out of my mind. Like it instantly changed the way I viewed the learner as well. Because I was viewing a child as I'm a stop it, you know. And the moment I realized that there's more to this story,
Yeah.
and it sort of made me feel like now I'm being like it's almost like I'm playing favorites because now I know the heartfelt situation he's under, you know, and to the learners, they're like, man, he's still continuing to do this. Like, we're not getting in. And me, now what I would do is just call him to the side and be like,
speak to him.
Yeah, let's stop this. Let's stop doing that and that and that. But yeah, that was the biggest for me. I think that's the most recent and that's the biggest one whereby I learned Guti. Basically, his sister had a tape
that was out.
and he also had a tape, but his tape as the boy child, because he was still in primary, he was learning how to use a gun. It was a video of him with his uncle. The uncle was teaching him how to use the gun, teaching him the different components of a gun, telling him, yeah, David mfana are, it's a so. And then it tlhakantse e be sethunya re bona gore o monna na. He's in grade 6. Ba mo ruta go assemble a gun in grade 6.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a lot. And when you listen to the children's like stories, it's like bana ba thwele nzima, like they have such a heavy burden that even their small mind cannot, like it cannot process the things that are happening. Hence they act out the way that they acting out in our classrooms, etc., etc. And it's like, what then of these situations? Sure. Okay. And then you're going through this now, you're seeing the students. Let's tap on the teacher's side. You're a first time teacher. What are you feeling in terms of the professional environment, in terms of support? What is there for you? How are you feeling?
So as a first time teacher, that was a very hectic. My first job was very hectic. I would lie. It was in the private sector, so there was no necessarily stability. The place was fairly new, and because it was fairly new, and also I had just moved from, for example, Pretoria. From Pretoria
to
a different region. So I'm also new to the environment. I'm new to the way things are done in this environment.
Yeah.
And I go into the private sector. So this is the crazy thing. God will give you what you want. Mina, I said last year, I'm tired of always being chosen to go to these public schools. And God must just do something and then I should work a private because, the parents are more involved.
You'll get exposed to the different side.
I'll get exposed to. I glamorized it. I romanticized that side. And then I get there and I realize that, okay, yeah, there is some sort of support from the parent, but they don't necessarily know what they should be doing.
Yes.
They don't necessarily know because they get home, the kids are this way. I mean, I'm telling them, at last, the kids are this way. And then I get management that says to the parents, no, leave her alone. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's a first time teacher.
So management already is labeling you like that.
Yes. And not just labeling me, but also they were never on the teacher's side.
Yes.
Because it's always, this is a client. Let's keep this client
happy. Yeah. The client's always right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember like it sort of made me realize, because man, people do expose themselves very early. Because management during the interview, they asked me a very weird question. They said, how are you going to advertise us beyond you talking and broadcasting about us? How are you going to advertise us? And I was like, I don't understand the question. And he said, I wanted you to answer like this. During an interview, he's like, I was expecting you to answer like this.
In this way.
By saying, Guti, in the learner's books, there will be this and this and this and this and this and this. So I'm like, but I already answered that on the content-based
side of things.
Yeah. But it's like, no, I want the parents to be talking and saying, we've never seen this being done in the other school. In.
So basically, it's a marketing play when
It's a
I'm here to
marketing.
be a
Yes.
teacher to the students.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I get there, the support is minimal. I'm expected to do everything. By everything, I mean all the things that you can think of. I mean, there was a point where I suggested that we should have like a demerit system. Management didn't know about it. And they said, go do it.
So when from no knowledge, you just have to cook up a demerit system.
For the whole school. Go.
As a first year.
As a first year teacher. It's your first job.
Yeah.
First year. Go. And then I get there. Also, I'm like teaching all these subjects, all these grades. And I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not going to lie. It's not going to be easy.
Were you teaching?
On my timetable, it was from grade 7 to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 grades. And yeah, it's senior and FET.
Yeah, senior and FET.
But if somebody's sick in intermediate, you go. So I would.
So you were put in a locum position as well. So you're also a locum teacher, but still having a full-time teacher's workload.
Yes, and the salary wasn't full-time teacher's salary.
But you were qualified at this time.
I'm qualified. And the thing that they were saying, for me at the time, it made sense. It's okay.
They're still entry level. That's how they put it.
Yeah. It's still entry level, And I signed a contract. The contractor saying, okay, siknike i-deal engaka. But the money, we were all getting the same amount of money. I didn't know this until I actually resigned. We are getting the same amount, but the contract I signed had like 6 or 5K extra on top of that. And I thought maybe it's going to UIF or going to...
Whatever.
No, my dear, I checked myself at UIF. There's nothing there. SARS, I check.
And you've been working at a like you employed legally, and there's no UIF,
no SARS, none of that. And that's when I realized, hi, man, off. Something is definitely off. But also, I'm somebody that doesn't believe in staying until the last drop.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe it was to my partner's annoyance, but I would always be applying.
Everywhere else, yeah.
Apply. But interviewing, it's, we don't have money. But let me call my mom.
I'm going to go to that interview.
I will go to that interview. I call my mom, and coincidentally on those days, then something would happen and then he doesn't go to work. And then we go together to those interviews. But it wasn't a thing of, I think if I got the support that I needed at that school, I would still be there.
And the mentorship, yeah.
Yeah, there was no mentorship. There was no induction. That module,
handover.
There was no handover, my dear. Handover if
you're doing this. Here's the past assessments we did. This is how.
There's nothing. You get to your desk. So we had our desk. Everybody had their own desk. Like it was a staff room, but everybody had their desk. Almost like a call center. So you get to the desk and you find izinto zezulu when you're teaching maths. You find things, it's other subjects. Like you find maybe a technology project, like a PAT assessment. Everything is scattered around. You have to figure things out yourself. I remember, and then I got there. I made a mistake. I got there and I took the learner's books but see, it's not allowed. It's not constitutional. You're not supposed to take the kids' books home with you because something might happen. So I'm thinking to myself, hi man, I'm taking the books and what's happening? Because also I'm teaching. Okay, timetable is from grade 7 to 10, and there are 2 classes per grade. So that's a lot of children, right? So let me just take, grade 7 today. Maybe after 2 days, I take grade 8, and also for which subjects, because I was teaching grade 8 and 9, SS and NS, So I was like, for which subjects? And then, because tomorrow they change the timetable, and they're like, okay,
so you constantly have to be on your feet, yeah.
Yeah, I was up in the CSS when you will teach technology. So we are mangan, hey, Technology.
Where do I even start? And that thing is it's a play on the head because the subject itself are so huge. Like you're saying SS and NS. SS and NS are two subjects in one.
Yes.
SS is geo and history.
Yes.
NS is life skills and physics. So now to change all of a sudden and going to like it takes a lot for you to be able to do that, let alone teach the subject with confidence.
Yes, and the learners I remember hearing
Oh, boy, now these learners.
hey, they said to one of the other teachers, you know, oh, ma'am, Magas say SS, she always refers back to the examples, the NS.
Because now it's like your load is just too much.
And I love NS. So for me, it's like, I man, everything makes sense in NS.
Yes.
Mayelana mabati in bati amataiti bati ayenzani, and I have to catch all those things
Exactly.
up on
And
that day.
expected to stand in front of children and teach them for examination and teach them, and it's like you yourself are not prepared. You yourself are not handed over. You're not given the grace, the platform, the support needed for you to do your job adequately. So sure.
But I feel like I had to learn.
Yeah,
I
you had to
so
adapt.
much. I had to
Yes.
adapt.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what I was lacking as an individual. And maybe that's why things happened the way they did, because I needed some sort of character development to help me adapt and to be more flexible, because I really, Haishem, I learned to work on my feet at that time. I learned to, because also when the department would come for grade 10, I still needed to be on my A game for grade 10. And that subject on its own is so heavy that in some schools, it's literally one teacher, one class.
Yes. So you can focus.
So you can focus on that class and then you can produce results. Because also, these exam papers that the grade 10s were writing, I had to set them up. And I mean, for example, EGD is not an easy subject. So I have to set up papers that are on a level whereby facilitators will say, this is acceptable work. This is good work. This is, which I did. And I still have a good relationship with the facilitator till today. She's an amazing person. She gave me so much support. I could never, ever go back and say, Guti, I regret being in that space, because if it wasn't for that space, I wouldn't have such a good network as well. I mean, I didn't even know that she was so big, and with cultivating that relationship, it has helped me grow, because I remember telling her, I went to another interview at some point, and I remember telling her, I'm at the school. It's not necessarily a great school, but I went to that school and they said they want me for this subject, for this EGD. And she was like, oh, give them my number. And they called her. And during the call, that's when the management, they realized, they would say, hey, dude, do you even know who this person is? And I was like, no. They're like, this is, national examiner. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah. And she's giving us the go ahead to when you're good enough.
You're good at what you do.
You're good at what you do. Yeah. So we'd like to give you an offer. I mean, it's not much. And now we're starting to fear, Guti, Mautola offer somewhere else, you're going to leave us. And I was like, that's when I started telling my partner, Guti, we can't be loyal to the potential. And because of that, I had to turn down the offer. I was like, oh, Kanti, I'm a big shot.
Let me actually use my words.
Yeah, I was like, let me look around, And I always believed, Guti, there has to be support somewhere else. And maybe contrary to what people believe, I didn't get the support in private setting. I got the support in public setting. You see those schools that you're saying, okay, yeah, it's in a good environment. It's in an okay environment.
Yeah.
But I'm a government, in public. I actually got the support that I felt like I needed from from that place. And that's when I realized, hi guys, hey, I'm not saying don't take your kids to private schools, but I'm just saying there are some private schools that are not all the way. They're not for your kids. It's all about business. They don't care about your kids' well-being. And that's why they will always be on your side as a parent. Rather go for maybe like a school whereby, even when you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
because that way your child can grow. Because those kids, I don't know, I really hope Guti, they do get, great teachers after this. And because at the end, they ended up hiring people that are not qualified and people that I'm not insinuating, but if immigration was to come, maybe there might be more issues.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, the support I got definitely from public.
Ne? Yeah. So there's something good that's being done there.
Yeah.
All right. And then I want us to speak on the mental health of a teacher. I think we speak on it, but we don't speak on it enough. You mentioned you were teaching 4 grades, multiple subjects. You're expected to do the admin, you're expected to set papers, you're expected to mark, you're expected to deal with teachers, your colleagues, your fellow colleagues, and you're expected to deal with parents at the very same time. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? How did you deal with it? What are the issues that you found yourself? We get anxious, and I think people don't understand when it's marking season, we get so anxious. Some people even get very sick, like to the point where they can't show up at work because that's how much pressure our job like requires of us.
Um, so with regards to that, I don't know how to answer it in a way that doesn't implicate anyone. But all I can say is I I I started self-medicating. So at some point I was like on ashwagandha. I remember I was a plug for ashwagandha. But yeah, I'm like,
I'm your girl.
yeah, I was like, no, that brand, it's not that
Reka,
strong.
that's
Reka the guy me. But go guy kiri check us hyper. But I think you're okay, go game. But I think you're a pharmacy.
I got you. Wait,
Got you. And it's sad because now I was dependent on self-medicating because ashwagandha. I'm a comlet at some point. Um, they did help, but I hate pills. So I went back to ashwagandha. You could see and the reasoning behind it is because I'm human. So I got attached to the learners.
Obviously.
There are certain things that the kids are going through that I don't like, for example. But I can't really do much. Management doesn't allow me to do much. Basically, on top of that, management is putting me under so much pressure to make sure that these kids are passing, for example, whatever. Um, so far I've worked in like 4 schools. So one of the 4 schools, learners were not allowed to fail.
So you had to cook the marks.
Everyone was passing. Everyone.
And Batwari Kupahuli address for 2 minutes. Sorry to cut you. When that happens, it is a red flag.
Yeah.
There are parents who are sitting, Libana, who can't read.
Yes.
In their home, your child cannot read. And you're so quick to blame the teacher. And I think what we're also trying to say here with Likarabo is our voices are like this when it comes to management. Like she was at a school where every child had to pass, no matter what. And you get parents who come to the next school. No. My child used to get 90s in the previous school. And you're like, oh, Mama, please, no, let's look at the core of what's happening. I'm trying to help you and I'm not trying to offend you, but these things happen. So please.
And also there were kids that I knew couldn't write in like so in like the 4 schools, I would say 2 were primary and 2 were high school. These kids were like in grade 9. They can't write.
What? Spelling.
Even spelling, yeah, but handwriting, ayiyo. Like you would swear that this child is maybe dyslexic,
yes,
something.
or something.
And there's nothing I can do. Management doesn't care. Oh, you want to talk about this child might need support. Okay, bring me the papers, bring me the files, bring me everything. When you're starting from scratch, you're starting your own support.
And there's 39 others.
Yes, improvement plan for this child. And I gonna go remember I'm teaching grade 7 to what? To 10.
To 10.
In grade 7, there was like 35, 39 kids. Grade 8, 2 classes, 8A, 8B, 9A. And then kama hape, you must make sure to those ones that were passing until grade 10 do what? they pass as well. And you're not teaching them like maths. You're not teaching them 1+1. Ubaruta, I had to teach learners how to measure from a ruler. And they're in grade 10. They are measuring from
centimeters.
They are measuring from the tip of the ruler.
I'm sorry, Uncle. Oh my gosh.
Measure from itip. Ay la, iqala khona ithi 1. Hayi iseng mo iqalang ere 0 and then you want to 1 centimeter, you want to kwa mafelong. And then now when I mark, I'm teaching technicalities.
Yes, EGD.
And while I'm teaching technicalities, I need to look at the fact that this is the right measurement. This is ke re ne ba tshwantse ba pass kaofela.
Oh no.
And then Rafa bana di certificate 90%.
Well, that is the part that gets me to be like, oh.
Rafa 90%. Number 1 o kry-ile bokae 96. Ha monate.
Kana go rula o measure jang?
Yo. And then ke mo ruta hape hore ho na le different angles. And these are things that they should know by then.
Yes.
Right? And then they have like set squares. Those are rulers that are like triangles. And they have angles. So I'm teaching them. To me, I'm thinking, man. Yeah, I'm a crib notes. So that they know when I turn the ruler this way, okay, this is 60.
Yes.
This is 90. This is 90. Hey, they get ruta perpendicular like grade 10. Yes. And today, I don't know. And it used to frustrate me. And at the same time, it saddened me. Like I didn't love seeing kids struggle so much over something so mundane because that is so small. And I'm not assessing you based on that small thing. But if it was
it's a bigger picture. You need to get to the bigger picture because we're wasting time on the perpendicular lines. You're supposed to know this already.
And then Mangbacha also there's civil in the civil area. Kune ground level, kune floor level. And you can hear in the words ground level, that's the ground, and then floor level, that's where the floor starts. And I would even that's not what I'm marking you on. That's not what I'm supposed to give you marks on. And if I mark you wrong, then I'll be told to come and account.
Yes.
And then mang figure your account plan. Must make a plan. Because learners of this whole school cannot fail.
No, that for me, it's a big one. And
so it took a toll.
Yeah.
Mentally, it took a toll. Psychologically, it took a toll. I just felt like at that moment,
I think justice.
Yes. And I hated it. I'm not going to lie, I hated it. And that's why I even felt like, you know what, these people, they feel like they don't owe me anything. So let me
have that attitude as
well. Yeah, let me just have that attitude as well and do what? And leave. Because I can't function in this environment. I cannot function.
Yeah.
And I always try to look for something that's better. They will never be the best. They will never be perfect.
Ever perfect, yes.
But I always felt like there's somewhere where it goes over better corner. There's somewhere where there's going to be better. And I think eventually I will get there, definitely.
Yeah. No, definitely. All right. Now we're gonna address discipline. I think it's one thing that we struggle with as teachers in a space and time where we feel like there's nothing we can do. Previously, there used to be corruption. Wow, sorry. There used to be corporal punishment. And obviously it got to a toxic place. And now we exist in a time and place where you just give a child a demerit if you're lucky. And that is it. What are some of the things that you've experienced discipline-wise and that maybe you'd like to share to say, I think like to say we are drowning as teachers with discipline issues because there's nothing we can do. We are not protected. And we just sort of now have to sit back and be like, Johnny, you're wrong. And that's it. Johnny can be like, but my mom is paying your school fees. And
they do.
You just keep quiet from there because you are so silenced.
with regards to discipline I went through, I don't think I ever, yes, I did actually. I did come across like schools whereby you're not even supposed to say to the child, shut up, you know?
Yes.
And was it working? No. Um, I mean, I get why it got scraped,
Yeah,
but
there's
at
a
the same time,
toxic,
there was
like,
a
there's a
toxic
line
level,
you cannot
Yakona.
go. Yeah.
Yes, there was a toxic level, Yakona, and I understand.
So it's rough. I just feel like we can go on and on about mental health issues, especially in the teaching space. And I think even online on TikTok, teachers are coming out about it. It's a it's a very scary time to be teaching, is all I can say. All right, so we're gonna close it off by obviously we always try and, bring things to full circle and say, okay, we've spoken about these things. How can we then pave the way for ourselves? We're still in the space, but for also future teachers who are going through similar issues. One topic that we didn't discuss that I would like us to still go through, but I'm sure our time is a little up now, but is also the legal protection for teachers. There's certain things that we are not wary of, especially when you're in the space for the very first time. Like your pay slip, how is it supposed to look? What is the entry level amount of remuneration you're supposed to get? How many lessons are you supposed to get that is actually suited for you? How many extramurals are you supposed to do? All of those things are things that you go into the space not knowing and leave room for you to be exploited. So yeah, if you can just touch on those things a little bit, and then yeah, we'll close it off.
Um, I don't know. I think with that, it's more of always trying to align with acts and bills that talk about teachers, right? I can't remember off the top of my head, but for example, Pam, there are certain things that you have to know as a teacher. Would say, okay, according to the
Empower
Pam
yourself.
document,
Yeah.
a teacher is somebody that does this and this and this and this and this and this. Right? And also the PAM documents will tell you that you cannot teach over 20 hours, for example,
Yeah.
in a week.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for us to know those bills. But now when you go to a space like mine, whereby you're teaching from, you signed a contract and the contract says you're going
You're
to
gonna
teach.
teach from here to here.
Yeah, for example, grade 6 NS and that's it. Bese,
When you get there,
ufundise, now you're
it's a
teaching.
whole different thing.
You know?
How do you protect yourself? How do you voice it out?
Exactly. It's tough, but I'm somebody that's very resilient and I'm very outspoken to a lot of people's to a lot of people's, I don't know, like irritation, I would say. Because even during those meetings, I would raise my hand and be like,
But
yeah, I'm not supposed to be doing this and this
A
and
B
this
C
and this.
D. Yeah.
And then they would dismiss the meeting.
And to not address it.
They would never address it
Yeah.
ever again. And but for me at least I voiced it out. I felt better voicing it out, you know. So I think the first step would be to voice it out and say, man, I know my rights because we are expected to just kana ba re keng ka Sepedi ba re tshela ba re inama se go tshele. So just you just bow down and then you know
The able mentality.
you must just you know and yeah I think that's the best way we could do it. Just try and voice it out. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy being in a space whereby you feel everybody's against you, the learners, the management, the parents, everything.
The yellow den. Yeah.
And parents will say, it was ketele, so
deal with us. No, thank you. I think I would love to do a part two. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'd love to do a part two, especially on how we educators, but we also need to educate ourselves. We need to empower ourselves in terms of the legal aspects of things. And we need to, yeah, just develop a sort of confidence where you can walk into the workplace and say, ABCD is not being done right by me. And I command for ABCD to be done because we're human also at the end of the day. So yeah, thank you, Karabo. Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
having me.
Yeah, for
I hope what
sharing.
I said made sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Please join in the conversation, guys. The teachers who are first-time teachers, please, we want you in this conversation in particular, and tell us your experiences. like we're hopeful to have a part two, and we'll, you know, digress and unpack more about this because I know a lot of you out there are sitting and watching this and you can relate. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. This is Teachers Talk. I'm your host, Pelisa Mugavazi. We are teaching and talking at the very same time. Thank you. Bye.